This evening, the Caribbean community takes the first step in transforming the region's agricultural sector. CANU and the Ministry of Education are collaborating to tackle the growing use of exotic narcotics in schools across the country. The leader of PNCR distributes various items to folks in the Georgetown area. In the region, U.S. nursing shortage, 500,000 healthcare workers no longer employed, and internationally, the United Nations suspends Russia from human rights body over Ukraine's abuse. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Today is the first day of the Agro Investment Forum and Expo. The event represents the first step in transforming agriculture in the Caribbean region. Esther Sobers was present at today's event and filed this report.
Guyana is on the verge of reigning its title as the food basket of the Caribbean. Today, the government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Agriculture and the CARICOM Secretariat, launched an agro-investment forum and expo at the Arthur Chung Convention Center. International investors, heads of states, CARICOM government leaders, bankers, and farmers were among those who attended the event. During the opening remarks at the ceremony, the Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, spoke to the large crowd gathered about the importance of food security for the economy.
One of the main areas of this ministerial task force is addressing the rising food import bill and facilitating investment in agriculture and food production. At the 33rd Intersessional Conference of Heads of Government, His Excellency presented a most stimulating and clear roadmap of how the CARICOM region can be mobilized to reduce the almost $6 billion food import bill and achieve the 25 by 2025 vision. And ladies and gentlemen, here we must recognize that the head of state did not only highlight the problems and highlight the issues that are affecting Caribbean economies and are affecting various sectors in the Caribbean economies, but he has also give us the solution, a roadmap how we'll reach there.
Also speaking at the conference via Skype was Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonzalez.
I want to urge all of us that we didn't know then what we know now, that we would have faced a pandemic, that we would have faced a global disruption in supply chains, that we would have faced, regrettably now, a threat to food security and food prices, with food prices rising its highest in a decade in the last month. We have a solemn obligation to our people to feed our people, as Prime Minister Gonzalez said. And as you've heard from every other speaker, Mr. Chung, the representative of the Public Financial Holdings, the Secretary General, all of the other speakers, and as I'm sure you'll hear from President Ali, this is now our mission.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be represented, and we are hoping that all of CARICOM would come, investors from across the region will come, and outside of the region for this extraordinary forum.
Elated that this vision would soon become a reality, President Irfan Ali spoke of the commitment of the stakeholders and other prominent persons involved in aiding the movement of the Food Expo, which will benefit thousands of Guyanese.
Complete commitment by all the stakeholders here locally, the private sector, the diplomatic community. You too have an important role, because if the capitals of the various countries understand that this is the direction, our FAO partners are here too, very important, very helpful in this process, then they will be able to communicate to their capital that the region political will, economic will is to achieve these agricultural and food outcomes. And we'll be able to harness technical support. We can be able to get support from them. The issue of insurance requires a lot of technical thinking. We need the experts, the financial experts, to put their heads together in coming up with an innovative product that is affordable for the system, because we are faced with different challenges as a result of climate change.
The Agro Investment Forum and Expo is scheduled from May 19th to the 24th, 2022. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. In an effort to diversify the food sector in Guyana, the government will begin a trial of 20 wheat varieties by the end of May. This was announced by Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa, who was speaking on the sidelines of a hamper distribution exercise on Wednesday. Cultivation for the initial trial phase is set to commence at the Burma Rice Research Station in Region 5 with Dr. Mahendra Prasad as project leader. Minister Mustafa revealed that the Rice Research Station would be utilized as a testing location since it has appropriate ground space. The climatic condition must also be taken into account. The ministry is also looking into the idea of setting up nurseries in strategic sites across the country to see whether better growing results can be achieved. The plan is for the technical officers to determine which of the varieties will thrive best here. The minister said the strategy to introduce the new commodity to Guyana's soil demonstrates the government's desire to ensure the country becomes self-sufficient. The surge in wheat and other commodity prices is the result of the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Both states account for about 30% of the world's traded wheat. CANU is collaborating with the Ministry of Education to combat the use of illegal drugs in schools. Dale Jarvis has more details.
The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, in stepping up its fight to tackle illegal drugs in the country, CANU is now teaming up with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders to eradicate the use of illegal drugs in schools across the country. This was revealed by Head of CANU, James Singh, as he spoke of the use of the exotic drugs in schools on Thursday.
Working with Ministry of Education and other agencies to sensitize and to develop a program that allows us to go into the various schools around the region, sensitize persons about the effects of narcotics.
Singh said ranks had identified several new types of drugs that are now prevalent in society, and efforts are being made to get them off the streets. While students are the main targets of the program, teachers will play a crucial role in the implementation and effectiveness of the initiative.
It's not only just working with the students, but also working with the teachers. They must be able to see the behavioral patterns of persons. That gives us a better idea if persons are on drugs or something else, so we can work with them also.
Singh also noted that CANU is doing a lot of work in communities countrywide and is urging persons from within the communities to play the role in curbing the use of illegal drugs.
We're doing a lot of work in various communities, and the aim here is to target persons who engage in selling narcotics regardless of whether it's close by a school or even within that community itself. And that's why, again, I will ask, since I have you here, the various communities, if you know persons are engaged in selling narcotics within your community, near to a school, anywhere, let us know confidentially and we will take the necessary action.
On Saturday, CANU destroyed over $523 million worth of cannabis, which was seized at various ports in Guyana over the last year. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Stick around after the break. The leader of PNCR provides money and tools to various folks in Georgetown, and a couple was arrested for possessing cannabis while sitting in their parked vehicle.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality, men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands, and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. The PNC leader made multiple donations to individuals in various neighborhoods in Georgetown. Here again is Esther Sobris.
On Wednesday, April 6, 2022, the leader of the People's National Congress, Mr. Aubrey C. Norton, General Secretary of the PNCR, Honorable Geeta Chandan Edmond, MP advisor to the leader, Mrs. Walter A. Lawrence, and other party representatives made a monetary donation to the husband and family of the deceased, Miss Deborah Salik Ram, who died during a tragic accident on the La Pennington's Public Road in Georgetown on Tuesday morning, April 5, 2022. While visiting the deceased's home in East Romveld, the party leader and his colleagues extended their heartfelt condolences to the deceased family members. Her relatives recognize her as a family's protector and provider. Mrs. Walter A. Lawrence, advisor to the leader and a classmate of the Alikaram, stated that she was always busy with anything that would keep her family comfortable. The political party also donated a weed cutter to the founder and manager of the East Romveld Giving Back Community Program, Miss Melissa Cush. The party representative concluded their walkabout in the community by addressing the concerns of the people. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Silvers.
Thanks, Esther. Another Guyanese fisherman has gone missing after a survey vessel collided with the fishing boat he was on in Suriname waters on Wednesday, April 6. The missing man has since been identified as 52-year-old Terence Gomes, called Big Eye of Suriname Region 2. Director of Maritime Safety, Captain John Flores, has confirmed the incident, stating that a seismic vessel prospector collided with the fishing vessel while conducting surveys. After the collision, the fishing boat Lady Roma 2 sank some 40 miles off the coast of Paramaribo, Suriname. According to reports, 6 fishermen were on board the fishing vessel at the time of the incident, with one of the Guyanese men serving as captain. After hearing the news, Gomes's relatives stated that they were told that the fishing boat was hit by a vessel which caused it to break in half and sink. The 6 fishermen were thrown overboard as a result. However, only 5 of the men were able to be rescued. Gomes was not so fortunate. Meanwhile, Gomes's wife, Gayatri Singh, claims she last saw and spoke with her husband on Saturday, the day he left to go fishing with the other 5 men. She revealed that her husband had been a fisherman for the past 20 years. According to the woman, her husband was the family's main breadwinner, and they have 3 children together, ages 7, 11, and 12. Additionally, she is calling on the authorities to do their best to find her husband. She related that the Coast Guard in Guyana and Suriname were informed about the incident and are currently conducting search efforts. While Gomes has not yet been located, his relatives are praying and hoping for the best. The Guyana Police Force has detained a couple on Demerara's east coast with a huge amount of cannabis in their parked vehicle. Dale Jarvis has the details.
Police in Regional Division 4C, acting on information, conducted an intelligence-led operation at Enterprise Gardens, East Coast, Demerara, and arrested 2 persons found with cannabis on Thursday, April 7, 2022. According to reports, around 8 p.m., a search was done on a parked SUV PRR 2824, where 4 bulky transparent wrap parcels containing leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis were discovered. 2 suspects, a 35-year-old female and a 35-year-old male, were seated inside the vehicle. A further search was conducted at the suspect's home at Enterprise Gardens, East Coast, Demerara. A black bag containing 2 parcels containing leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis was unearthed in a bedroom. Both suspects were told of the offense committed, cautioned, arrested, escorted to the Cove and John police station. The cannabis was taken to the station and weighed totaling over 6,000 grams. Both suspects are currently in custody as investigations are ongoing. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Don't go away after the break. Sydney evacuates thousands as torrential rain hits East Coast, and UN suspends Russia from human rights body over Ukraine abuses. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things. What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
In a world filled with copycats and ever-changing trends, make your property stand out with unique concrete moldings. Different, exquisite designs carefully handcrafted to suit your style, with various customizable and antique and modern designs made at our factory. Antique and modern molding establishment. We make your property outstanding. We make and install all moldings anywhere in Guyana. The best quality, affordable prices, on-the-spot quotes, and no hidden fees. Call us or WhatsApp us at 684-5050 or email us at modernestab@gmail.com. Antique and modern molding establishment, made to stand out.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. About 500,000 healthcare workers have left their jobs in the US since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Some were laid off, many resigned, and others could not work because of long illnesses. Al Jazeera's CANU reports.
They've been the caring responders in the battle against the pandemic, working long hours in overcrowded hospitals and experiencing the ravages of COVID-19 and its variants on a daily basis. And while there's been a decline in hospital admissions as the vaccines take hold, the stress on the nurses is far from over.
There's some of our colleagues within the state whose the PTSD is so bad that they've had several suicides. So it's affecting all of us differently, unfortunately.
It comes down to the patients. And really, when I go into work and I feel like I don't have the resources or the time to take care of the patients in the way that I want to, I just feel distressed. I feel morally distressed that I am put in a situation where ethically I am not able to hold up to the value that I want to be at for myself.
There are 4.4 million registered nurses in the US, but data realized by National Nurses United shows that just over 3 million are actually employed. This data backs union claims that there was a staffing crisis long before COVID, and that there's not a nursing shortage, but there's a shortage of jobs in which nurses feel valued and safe. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky has been working on federal legislation to protect nurses since 2004.
We hear that sometimes from the hospital, there's this big nurse shortage. No, there is only a shortage because there is not the ability of nurses to go back to work safely and to protect their patients as well.
It's predominantly nurses who are at the forefront of the vaccination campaign. Millions of them still out there working, despite an environment that remains far from ideal. To many, it's a calling as much as a profession.
I really have come to the point where I I don't think that there's any other place that I would want to be. But there are situations and days at work where I think I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Statistics indicate the pandemic could be waning, but the scars remain for the millions that have lost family or friends, and for those who have held the hands of the dying. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Reports of alleged killings by the Russian military, like those in Boryanka and Bucha, have prompted the United Nations to suspend Russia from its leading human rights body. Moscow has dismissed the move as illegal and politically motivated. Al Jazeera's Kirsten Salumi reports.
As atrocities in Ukraine mount, the country's ambassador appealed to the General Assembly to hold Russia accountable and suspend them from the Geneva-based Human Rights Council.
All you need to do is to press the yes button and to save the Human Rights Council and many lives around the world and in Ukraine. On the other hand, pressing no means pulling a trigger.
Russia, denying all wrongdoing, accused the West of double standards.
What we're seeing today is an attempt by the United States to maintain its dominant position and total control to continue its attempt at human rights colonialism in international relations.
Russia lobbied hard, convincing China to vote against suspension.
Such a hasty move at the General Assembly, which forces countries to choose sides, will aggravate the division among member states, intensify the confrontation between the parties concerned. It is like adding fuel to the fire.
In the end, 23 countries sided with Russia. 93 voted in favor of suspension, but India, Brazil, and South Africa were among 58 countries that abstained, saying an investigation should be concluded first. Mexico also abstained.
I think it creates more polarization.
A country that supported previous resolutions deploring Russia's aggression.
Mexico is in favor of everything that will keep inclusion and dialogue on the table.
Still, the U.S. ambassador who initiated the vote hailed the decision as a victory.
Today, the international community took one collective step in the right direction. We ensured a persistent and egregious human rights violator will not be allowed to occupy a position of leadership on human rights at the UN.
The 47-member Human Rights Council launched an investigation into possible war crimes in Ukraine while Russia was still a member, over Russia's objections. Now it will release its findings without Russia, who, after becoming only the second country to be suspended from the council, announced it was quitting. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, the United Nations.
And finally, people living in parts of Australia's largest city has been told to evacuate as torrential rain hits the country's east coast. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gattenberg reports.
Rescue workers pull a 95-year-old woman to safety in the city of Wollongong, south of Sydney. Torrential rain along Australia's east coast has turned roads into rivers and forced thousands of people to evacuate their homes.
We ask the community to continue to be vigilant. This is a highly dynamic situation. These events are moving exceptionally quickly, as was witnessed in the Illawarra this morning, where we saw in the space of about 3/4 of an hour significant downpours, significant flash flooding.
Intense rainfall in the state of New South Wales has caused repeat floods for months. Several towns are still battling to clear debris. Australia's East Coast summer has been dominated by the La Niña weather phenomenon, typically associated with increased rain.
Unfortunately, we continue to be in a La Niña event, which we know for New South Wales means that we can expect to see higher than average rainfall conditions, which is exactly what we've seen over the past couple of months. And we are expecting La Niña to continue throughout the remainder of April.
The extreme weather made worse by climate change has raised questions about how prepared Australia is for such disasters, and authorities are warning of more rain in the coming days. Major flood warnings have been issued for several suburbs in the south of Sydney, while the entire city of 5 million people has been warned of potential flash flooding this weekend. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.